Roseanne Arnold bares her soul about her broken marriage.
Roseanne claims that Tom beat her, humiliated her in public, and even threatened to kill one of her bodyguards.
It's the queen of comedy's sad story that she's living in fear of the man she once loved.
So much fear that she's fled the country.
And from behind the walls of Roseanne's home, it's the heartbreaking details of a marriage gone bad.
She's done absolutely nothing wrong except being a loving, supporting wife, while he's been, a conniving, manipulative pig.
Exclusive, Roseanne's Broken Heart.
Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Through tragedy and triumph, she was an American pillar of strength. Now, she's in a fight for her life.
She suffered bleeding, internal bleeding.
It's a hard copy special report on Jackie's latest battle.
She is the most remarkable person as far as inner strength is concerned.
Exclusive, Jackie's Struggle.
They're the sexy studs from down under. Meet the men who wear their hearts on their sleeves before they rip them off.
Work before pleasure, I guess. You've got to draw the line and not play with people's emotions.
Australia.
For Tuesday, April 19th, 1994. This is Hard Copy.
Hello and welcome. I'm Barry Nolan. Terry Murphy's on assignment. Glad you could join us. There are allegations that have the nation stunned. Roseanne Arnold's heartbreaking revelations about her marriage to Tom. They range from infidelity to battering. It's a sad look at a woman who was laughing on the outside while apparently crying on the inside. Doug Bruckner has the tragic story.
Barry, we've obtained the court documents that detail the abuse Roseanne says she suffered at the hands of husband Tom. It's the most revealing look yet into their stormy marriage.
This is just the beginning of what's going to become Hollywood's biggest and ugliest divorce. Roseanne has charged Tom with beating her. She's charged him with infidelity. This is Hollywood Gothic.
Roseanne Arnold. She says she already survived one unfulfilling marriage, alleged child abuse, and a multiple personality disorder. But now, Roseanne's most personal revelation yet. She claims she's a victim of battered wife syndrome at the hands of the man she dedicated her life to, husband Tom Arnold.
In public, they were a happy, loving couple. You'd always see them kissing. But she filed restraining orders against Tom yesterday. I mean, this is becoming one ugly scene.
In just a matter of days, the Arnold's marital blowout has turned more than ugly. It seems to have turned violent. In court papers filed yesterday in Los Angeles, Roseanne detailed several incidents in which she alleges Tom attacked her. She said, quote, "Throughout our marriage, he has hit me, struck me, has thrown objects at me, and verbally abused me. He also has pushed me against walls while he screams and shouts at me, drowning out any possible plea that I might make for him to stop." According to experts, this is all behavior typical of a battered wife.
He may start isolating her, maybe small kinds of threats, intimidation, and it builds. And what happens in that process is that the woman's self-esteem is broken down.
The documents go on to describe how Tom constantly berated her in public.
At the Planet Hollywood opening in Orange County, I was standing in front of Tom and Roseanne, and they started to argue. Tom turns to Roseanne and says, "Get your fat ass over there." I got to tell you, I was just shocked.
Roseanne says she had to end the relationship or her life would be ruined. It happened last Friday in a public confrontation.
Mrs. Arnold started fighting very loud so that everyone in the vicinity could hear. And at that point, Roseanne screamed at Tom, "Everyone knows you're Kim."
Kim Silva is Tom's 23-year-old assistant, who's said to be at the center of the storm. Now, in this exclusive interview with Hard Copy, a member of the Arnold's inner circle tells what really went on behind closed doors.
Roseanne did find Mr. Arnold and his assistant Kim in a very unflattering position.
What Kim is accused of doing is, for Roseanne, the ultimate betrayal. But the word betrayal is symptomatic of Roseanne's entire life.
After last week's blowout, Roseanne fired Kim Silva, threw Tom off the lot, changed the locks at their Brentwood estate, and then filed a restraining order claiming that she fears he will seek revenge against her or her loved ones.
She's done absolutely nothing wrong except being a loving, supporting wife, while he's been, a conniving, manipulative pig.
After the fight, Roseanne claims that Tom went over their house in Brentwood and then got into a fight with one of her security people and even threatened to kill him.
It seems as if Roseanne is preparing for an all-out war. She hired high-powered attorney Sorrel Trope. He's known in the divorce business as a bomber, the guy you call in when you declare war and drop a bomb. And that's what he did yesterday when he filed this restraining order.
I really can't say a thing.
And there's a lot at stake in the war of the Arnolds. Tom could be losing a healthy meal ticket. After all, Roseanne's the highest paid woman in prime time.
Roseanne reportedly makes $500,000 an episode. She has huge amounts of money coming in from syndication. She has property with Tom. They have deals all over the place. I mean, this is going to be a huge mess.
Roseanne Arnold, the queen of comedy, now a woman scorned. She's as far away as she can get from the man she once loved.
She's a good woman, a nice woman, did nothing wrong, hasn't still done nothing wrong. And, I think people need to know that about her and need to know what a bad man he is.
There are reports Roseanne has gotten away from it all to a Paris hotel. What name she used to check in, we don't know, but recently she said if she ever split with Tom, she'd call herself Roseanne X. Barry?
Thanks, Doug. Now, Jackie O. For months, she has been battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, but it appears her cancer treatment has triggered a new medical problem.
She suffered bleeding, internal bleeding.
For the past 3 months, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis has been fighting her battle with dignity and quiet strength. But these pictures of the former First Lady as she checked into the hospital speak volumes. Clearly, the cancer has taken its toll.
Physicians have told me that because of these corrosive chemicals which are introduced into the body, they are very strong, they're very powerful, and there are many side effects.
At 64, Jackie has been undergoing chemotherapy. He has not been subjected to another common cancer treatment, radiation.
And radiation, of course, is much more powerful. It can pinpoint areas that are cancerous and assist in the cure. So far, she has not had to undergo that.
Jacqueline's children, John and Caroline, are almost constantly by her side. As always, a warm source of comfort and support.
Both children were at the hospital the first day. They were there early in the morning, and they saw their mother, John and Caroline both.
And Maurice Templesman also has made himself a source of strength for Jackie.
He has made an island of calm, harmony, security around her. And he has given her the greatest love, the greatest support. I think that she is totally indebted to him. She adores him.
With Jacqueline in one room and former President Richard Nixon in another, security at New York Hospital has been very tight.
Every person we talked to, a woman went to visit her husband on the 11th floor. They told her she couldn't go in unless they looked in her bag. And she said, "What are you talking about? I'm going to go visit my husband. He had a stroke." And she's not even on the 11th floor. She's on the 15th floor.
On Thursday, Jackie underwent surgery. A spokeswoman for Mrs. Onassis says she's doing well. And after a brief rest, it's expected she'll be back at work.
Continuing her normal routine at a lowered pace. But the bleeding, I was told, will have no effect on the prognosis. No effect on the prognosis, which still remains very good.
Word is that Jackie will probably be released from the hospital in a few days. We wish her well. Now, he was a top executive until his own daughter's accusations brought him down. Now, he fights to clear his name.
Been personally humiliated, and somebody has to put a stop to the quackery.
A father's nightmare, next. And then, forget Crocodile Dundee, they're the latest import from the outback. The men from down under.
Tomorrow on Hard Copy, Oprah Winfrey. You've watched her go up and down the scales. Now that she's fit for life, she's sharing her recipes in a new cookbook.
Taking foods that you like to eat anyway and learning how to cook them in a low-fat style.
I think this is a very responsible book that she's come up with. I think it has simple recipes for people to follow, especially homemakers.
What you got cooking?
Oprah's Diet Secrets. Tomorrow on Hard Copy.
A bittersweet family scandal is rocking California's wine country. It has brought down a top executive at the famous Mondavi winery. And as Diane Diamond reports, it's a case that pits father against daughter.
He was accused of the most heinous of crimes, Barry. His own daughter says he sexually abused her. Now, a prominent businessman has gone to court to clear his name. In California's famous wine country, Gary Ramona used to enjoy a sweet life, running Robert Mondavi's vineyard. But now, he's tasting the bitterness of a scandal that's cost him everything.
I lost my marriage of 25 years. I haven't seen any of my children since March 15, 1990. I lost my job, career. Been personally humiliated, and somebody has to put a stop to the quackery.
His pain is caused by his oldest daughter, Holly, who claims her happy childhood was ruined by her father in the most horrible way. She claims the dark secret was unlocked by a therapist using truth serum.
It went all over Napa Valley. Under truth serum, Holly had been reported that her father had raped her, which is a total lie.
Gary Ramona has always vehemently denied his daughter's charges. He says her therapist planted false memories in her mind. But once word of the alleged abuse got out, his reputation in wine country was destroyed. And along with it, everything he'd worked his whole life for. Now Gary Ramona is fighting back in a precedent-setting case. He's suing his daughter's therapist for malpractice.
They've destroyed my family. They've implanted lies, and I pray that all the truth will come out.
The trouble started 4 years ago when Gary's daughter, Holly Ramona, was 19. She was suffering from depression and a severe eating disorder, bulimia. As part of her treatment, her therapist, March Isabella, helped her regress to childhood, where Holly says she recalled memories she'd repressed for years, memories of abuse at the hands of her father. But Gary maintains these are false memories implanted in his daughter's subconscious by her therapist.
I have no reason to accuse Gary. I don't have an issue with Gary. Holly has an issue with her father. That's the problem. This is a father-daughter issue that has no business being in the courts.
During therapy, Holly became more and more confused as to whether these disturbing thoughts were actual memories or just her imagination. So her therapist suggested that she be interviewed under the influence of a truth serum.
My daughter was lied to. She went into a sodium amytal interview, was told that it was truth serum, that you have to be trained to lie, and they never videotaped anything, they never audio taped anything.
Dr. Richard Rose administered the drug, and he is also named in the lawsuit.
She was determined to confront her father with these memories, and she came to me and she said, I want to make sure that I've done everything I can to see what these memories are all about. Maybe they're not real. Maybe I'm crazy. And she was willing to believe that she was crazy. She was even hoping to believe she was crazy.
Holly said, I was never there when she needed me. I was self-centered. I only thought about myself and my job. I bet you'd never read anything on bulimia, and that I raped her. And I told her that was absolutely not true. What the hell is going on?
And that's when Gary's world began to fall apart. The man who had it all suddenly had nothing. No job, no marriage, no family. And today he is in court trying to clear his name and get his family back.
My opinion, Holly was never sexually abused.
Even former boss Robert Mondavi has testified as a character witness on behalf of Gary Ramona. As for Gary, he says all he wants is the truth and to win back the love of his daughter.
They destroyed our lives. And I had a beautiful family, a loving family. And like that, everything is gone. I love my daughters dearly. And I will not stop until I can prove to them all this is a lie.
Gary Ramona will see his daughter Holly for the first time in more than 4 years when she goes to court later this week to testify on behalf of her therapist. Barry?
Thanks, Diane. Now, the men from down under.
I have my fantasies.
Blazing a trail of broken hearts throughout the U.S., Manpower, Australia, next. When you think of Australia, kangaroos and crocodiles may come to mind, but there is more wildlife jumping around down under than you might think. Anthony Kaleka has the story.
Meet the mates of Manpower Australia, a male review with more outback than ever before. Just don't call them Chippendale Dundees.
We don't want to be recognised as that because we're a total different concept of show. We're more of an acrobatic, fun night out for the girls. We don't do the tipping. It's more of a choreographed cabaret show.
There may be some familiar things about them, but the guys are doing their best to change the Aussie stereotype, as only they know how.
This is the best show I've seen in like the last 3 years. 3 years!
Billy Cross is head buckaroo. 6 years ago, he brought together a rather eclectic team of Aussie muscle and mischief, starting with the youngest, Jamie.
When you look down at the audience and you see some of the older ladies, you know, just smiling, having a great time, that really warms your heart.
Some of us are more into camels at this stage of our lives.
Then came the acrobatic Ray and former yuppie David.
Yeah, they're a bit surprised about that, all the girls at the office and the guys in the office, but I still see them now and they sort of, you know, they're all behind it, you know, they love the show.
Next came rock and roller Chris, and finally Essa, a former mine worker who's a little bit, well...
crazy. I can get a little bit crazy sometimes. I'm sort of like, I like to try a lot of different things. I'll try anything, just about.
America is still a new place for discovery.
They got a gadget for everything. Yeah, it's so advanced here.
I've never seen so many cars in my whole life.
And the phrase only in America is so true.
But one thing remains the same. The Manpower creed of earning the ladies' respect.
You can't use your job as an angle to pick up girls and stuff like that. You got to draw the line and you know, not play with people's emotions, I think. That's the biggest thing.
I love it! And I'm trying to be really good, but I have my fantasies.
Call it the Australian way, but has this sort of thing ever seemed more gentlemanly?
They are the finest men I've ever seen in my life.
Unfortunately, entertainment like this causes men to feel a certain social pressure to meet an unrealistically high set of physical expectations. And I, for one, am tired of holding my stomach in. We'll be back in just a moment with some kind words for Don Johnson. Call Hard Copy Viewer voicemail with your comments on tonight's show at 1-900-268-6868. Each call costs 50 cents.